Tonight's movie asks the age-old question. What's the worst thing that could happen to your luggage on a vacation? Lost bag? Broken zipper? Nope. Try opening it up and having 8 severed heads staring back at you. That's 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag. A dark comedy where the mafia's idea of FedEx is sending some guy on a plane with a sack of noggins. And what happens when that bag gets swapped? Things go south real quick. Forget tequila and beach sunsets. This vacation's got your grandma thinking you're a serial killer. And airport security treating a decapitated head like it's contraband fruit. Back in 1997, somebody in Hollywood thought, you know what would make a great comedy? A mobster hauling around a bag of severed heads. And somehow, all these years later, we ponder, were they right? 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag stars Joe Pesci as a hitman trying to deliver proof of his kills, only to have his luggage swapped with some clueless college kid. The result is one of the darkest, weirdest comedies of the 1990s. The kind of movie that asks, what if Weekend at Bernie's had more corpses and more mafia beats? It didn't exactly set the box office on fire, but it's one of those films that feels tailor-made for late-night VHS rentals, which is exactly why we're talking about it tonight. And just remember, in the mafia, you don't lose your head unless Joe Pesci's the one carrying your luggage. Now, go ahead and press play on 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag. The movie kicks off with Tommy Spinelli, a low-level wise guy who's been given one simple job: deliver a duffel bag full of severed heads to a mob boss named Big Seth. The heads are proof of some of his recent hits, and all Tommy has to do is get them across the country. Easy, right? Well, not exactly. On a flight, Tommy's bag gets mixed up with the luggage of Charlie Pritchett, this overly nice, talkative college kid who's on his way to Mexico to visit his girlfriend Lori and meet her parents. Charlie has no idea what he just picked up, but once he and Lori discover what's inside the baggage, things spiral out of control fast. Meanwhile, Tommy's losing his mind trying to track down his missing cargo. He starts leaning on Charlie's friends Ernie and Steve, looking for answers, while Charlie and Lori are scrambling to get rid of the evidence. Charlie and Lori try everything, but nothing goes according to plan, and it just keeps snowballing from there. On the other side, Tommy isn't about to let one missing head ruin his job. When Charlie slips up and tells him he lost one, that little detour leads them all down to Mexico, where Tommy threatens Charlie that if he loses another head, he'll just swap in one with his friends or family members. Things get even crazier when Tommy realizes the bumbling hitmen Benny and Rico are planning to double-cross him. That leads to a showdown at the airport, where Charlie and Tommy work together to set Benny and Rico up and clear Lori's dad's name. The film wraps up in the most ridiculous way possible. Charlie and Lori get married. Ernie somehow becomes a brain surgeon. Steve's gone off the deep end and is running around with the severed head calling it his best friend. Lori's grandma is in a full body cast after taking off Tommy. And Tommy himself, he's retired, chilling in Hawaii. 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag, ladies and gentlemen. This episode is actually a request for my buddy Rowdy Ritter, the same guy who hooks us up with the outro music every week here on Video Rental Chaos. I remember spotting this one at the video store back in the day, but I never actually sat down and watched it until recently. With Joe Pesci on the cover, you figure you're in for something wild, right? And what you get is pure 90s comedy cheese, okay? Joe Pesci plays Tommy Spinelli, a mob hitman who ends up swapping bags on a flight with Charlie, who's played by Andy Comey. As we saw, Charlie spends the whole movie fumbling his way through situations that make you want to yell at the screen. Kind of like when you're watching a horror flick and the character makes the worst possible choice. Whenever Joe Pesci's on screen, the movie picks up. He's not the same Joe Pesci you know from Goodfellas and Casino, but he's still magnetic to watch. On top of that, you get an appearance from David Spade, and if you grew up in the 90s, you know how fun that is. Charlie's girlfriend Laura, played by Christy Swanson, wants to split up, and honestly I kept thinking, why is he even bothered? Her mom, played by Diane Cannon, is fiery and sharp, while her dad, George Hamilton, is hilariously clueless. The reveal of the heads is one of those cringe but funny moments, especially when the dad stumbles into it. The family dynamic adds to the absurdity, and that dinner table attack scene seals the deal. This movie is over-the-top ridiculous and very much a product of its time. For me, the highlights are the old lady sparring with Joe Pesci and the Mr. Hitman dream sequence, plus the fun little ending where they figure out how to sneak the heads out of Mexico. The guy gets the girl back, clears her dad's name, and ties it all up in a goofy bow. So, did I enjoy it? It had its moments. Is it essential viewing? Probably not. But if you're in the mood for some throwback dark comedy with Joe Pesci hamming it up, 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag definitely delivers that. 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag, ladies and gentlemen. Proof that even when Joe Pesci isn't in a Scorsese movie, somebody's still gonna end up in pieces. And until then, I'll see you at the video store.
Red, blue lights, white, bright lights, I got you in my sights tonight. Red, blue lights, white, bright lights, I got you in my sights tonight. Gonna get you in my squad car and you're gonna tell me. Gonna get you in my squad car and you're gonna tell me. Would you date a guy hung with a badge? Would you date a guy hung with a badge? Would you date a guy hung with a badge like me? And I'll make me NYP.